Shalom, my friends. I'm here in my office in Jerusalem, and tonight begins Yom HaZikaron, which is Israel's Remembrance Day, where we remember all of the fallen soldiers and people who died from terror attacks in Israel. And it starts tonight, goes until tomorrow night, and then tomorrow night, right when Yom HaZikaron, when Israel Remembrance Day ends, we go into Yom HaAtzmaut. We go into Israel's Independence Day, where we're celebrating 70 years of Israel's independence, which is an amazing thing, because 70 has so much meaning and so many spiritual implications that I already did a teaching on, and I'll do another one soon. But for me, I always think about how the number 70, it was 70 years between when the first temple was destroyed in Jerusalem and when the second temple was built in Jerusalem. And so I'm just praying that these 70 years since Israel's independence will lead to tomorrow, when we celebrate Israel's 70th year, the building of the third and eternal temple. How awesome would that be? So I'm just praying for that. But there's a very deep message here, that we go from a day of intense mourning on Israel Remembrance Day to a day of the most intense celebration. It shows the difference and where life and death cross. But even more than that, what I always think about, Israel Remembrance Day is very personal. I remember growing up in America, we had a special Memorial Day, but it didn't really signify for most people a day when you pay respect to the soldiers and those who fell. It was a day of sales and a day that marked the new season. But here in Israel, and I pray that that changes, because it's really a day that across the world should be recognized and honored for those who gave their life. But in Israel, maybe because Israel's such a new country, only 70 years old, it's very personal, and Israel's a small country. Today we're only 8 million citizens, but that has grown. When Israel started, we were just a couple 100,000. And so everyone knows someone who has died fighting for Israel. My neighbor, her son died in the Lebanon war. And every year on Memorial Day, me and my kids, we draw pictures and bring cakes to our neighbor. They call her Grandma Yudit. And we talk about her son who died fighting for Israel. And we remember him and recognize him as a hero. My son's teacher at school, she lost a brother fighting for Israel. I have friends who we've lost in terror and fighting for Israel. So this is a really personal day. There is no street on Israel, no city in Israel that doesn't have a list of the fallen. And the fallen aren't from 50 years ago. The fallen are from the past year, 2 years, 5 years, maximum 20, 30 years. That it's really personal. Every single school has lost a soldier or someone in terror. So every school across Israel has a whole presentation remembering those people from that school that died. So the children are raised in a memory, remembering the people who gave their life so that we could be here today. And so it's a day where the siren sounds and everyone is crying, stops wherever they are and just pays that respect. It's a day where all the families and friends go to visit the graves of those who have given their life. Everyone goes to visit people that they know who have lost sons or daughters fighting for Israel. And it's a day where everything stops and we focus on one thing: those that we lost for this land. And then, as soon as sun starts to set tomorrow night, is Israel's Independence Day, that we go from mourning to celebration. It's the biggest celebration you could imagine. All across Israel, all day, all night on Independence Day. It's not just barbecues. It is concerts for free and street parties and Israeli flags waving everywhere. And what I think about when I experience this transition from sadness and loss and death to a place of life and celebration and thanksgiving, is that we have the ability to transform the hardest times into celebration, into strength. We have a choice when we're in hard situations. We could either let it defeat us, or we could use it to make us stronger. To say, I could get through this and I could get through anything. And this is going to equip me with the faith and the the strength and the experience that I need to move to an even stronger place. I remember I heard a story once of a soldier whose both of his legs were blown off in a war, in the Gaza war. And he ended up becoming the head of a huge company in his wheelchair, running a huge for-profit financial company, volunteering for all different organizations. And when I spoke to him, he said, I had a choice. I was able to let my legs being blown off get me down and say, okay, I'm not going to do anything with my life. I'm just going to be depressed. I'm going to be handicapped, and I'm just going to not make anything of my life and say, now it's over. Or I could use it to be my strength, to say, I experienced this, I can do anything. And we even say in Psalms, Mimamakim karaticha Hashem, from the depth I call out to you, O God. From the lowest place, we call out to God, and we know that God answers us. And so, Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Remembrance Day, is in a way our lowest place. It's the place of despair. So many people have died. So many people have died for this land, and they continue to die for this land. There's so much terror. There's so many attacks. There's so many enemies, both inside of Israel, outside of Israel. We fought so many wars. We're still fighting our war of independence. And it could get us down. We could say, okay, I give up. The enemies are many. The wars are many. The people we've lost are many. I give up. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. Or we could use this as our strength to say, look how far Israel has gotten in the past 70 years. We had all odds against us. No one thought we would make it to here. No one thought we would survive. When all the different Arab armies attacked Israel, everyone said, Israel's done. They're going to go into the sea. We have chosen life. God says, I lay before you life or death. Choose life. And Israel has chosen life. We haven't given up. We are stronger today because of those wars that we've fought and miraculously won. We're stronger today because we've seen that God has not abandoned us. We are stronger today because we've seen the miracles that God has performed. We are stronger. And so being strong is also a place of remembering. We just passed Passover, where we celebrate the Israelites' redemption from Egypt. And how do we celebrate that redemption from Egypt? We remember. We remember that we were slaves and now we're free. And so too, in order to be free, in order to celebrate our freedom, first we have to remember. So we have Yom HaZikaron, Israel Remembrance Day, where we honor the fallen soldiers. We realize we are only here because of the price that they gave up. We go and we stand with their families, the ones in mourning. We support them. We love them. We mourn with them as a country. But then we celebrate. We don't let it get us down. We don't let it be despair. We celebrate that we are alive. Am Yisrael Chai, the nation of Israel endures. And from those low places, just like King David, Mimamakim karaticha Hashem, from the depth of despair I call out to God. That's Yom HaZikaron, Israel Remembrance Day. Hashem oneli, God answers. We call out from the depth. We remember the pain. And then we're answered. That's Israel Independence Day. And so stay tuned, where I'm going to be posting pictures and videos from both Yom HaZikaron, Israel Remembrance Day, and the biggest parties of Yom HaAtzmaut, of Israel Independence Day. But I want you to reflect on your life and maybe write in below in the comment section, what's something that you're facing right now in your personal life? Something that could so easily bring you to despair, but that you're making the decision to turn it into redemption. That you're making the decision to make it into a strength instead of a handicap. What are you going through in your life right now? Maybe it's an illness. Maybe it's the loss of a loved one. Maybe it's a friend who's facing addiction. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe someone else lost their job. Maybe you're in financial strains. Write below something that you're going through. You don't have to write details if you don't want to. And make a declaration. I am going to come from this place of despair, and I'm going to turn it into redemption. I am going to come from a place that could be bringing me down, but I'm going to let faith triumph over despair. Write in the comment section what you're going through and make a declaration that you are not going to let it get you down. You're not going to let it destroy you. You are not going to give in to the bad situation, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to be stronger, and that you recognize that your words and your thoughts will ultimately determine the outcome. God is waiting for you to declare your strength. Once you declare your strength over the hard situation, God will give you the tools to triumph. So Randy, I see that you're struggling with bills, and I pray with you that those bills will be paid, that God will send you the funds to miraculously pay those bills and get financial security back. But make this declaration now. From the depth of despair, I call out to God, and I know that God will answer me. Thank you for joining, and may God bless us all in bringing all of our declarations to reality. God bless you.